we're so glad you all can hear us and we can hear you now. And there's Annie.
Evening, everybody.
Hi. So guys, what do you think about letting Annie go first and then we'll have our business meeting? Is that okay with you all? Sure. Annie's Stefan, am I saying that right?
That's it.
Okay. Annie is one of our fellow candidates. She is in the Leadership and Advocacy Academy. And they're going to be graduating soon, in May, at the Leadership and Advocacy Conference. Annie's project is something that she is very passionate about, and she wants to spend some time telling you about her project and making a proposal to you. You might as well say, right, Annie? Is that fair?
That's an excellent introduction. And I'm going to apologize in advance that there's 31 slides to this presentation. I'm not going to go into detail in every one. It's just that the information is so important that I sent the updated set of slides to Lisa. So anybody who would like to see it and more information on the presentation, please feel free to send it to anyone else that you think would be interested in the information. And one of the things that's really sad is since I sent the original to Lisa in January, when we had to discuss our projects with our classmates during class, I have edited this 5 times thanks to the rapid pace of the legislature as well as the federal government and all the changes that are going down. So it originally got shrunk down from my original presentation to like 17 slides, and now we're up to 31.
So, are you able to show your own slides, or do you need me to show them?
Well, my daughter said that if I'm trainable, I should be able.
Her daughter's her first assistant.
I don't know what I would do without my kids. I'm much smarter because of them. It says that the sharing screen's been disabled.
Looks like Lisa's working on that now, Annie.
Okay. Well, while Lisa's doing that, I want to update everybody that we had our first meeting of the SNP on Monday. As of now, we've got 16 people that are interested in being part of it in varying forms. And the nice thing with everybody coming on is that we realize everybody is comfortable at a different level. And we want people to participate where they think their gifts are. And we realize that everybody is different. And we will accept for wherever you feel comfortable fitting in.
You should be, there you go. Perfect.
All righty. Now, slideshow from the beginning. Almost like I know what I'm doing. All righty. Our SNP is advocating for the LGBTQ plus community through a KNA SNP. The objectives are to advocate and support this community, and support is basically going to be via the 4 pillars that as nurses we practice every single day: competency, advocacy, improving the patient care, and then research, so that we can say, look, what we're doing is evidence-based practice, research has it grounded, we're doing what is right. And we feel like this can be done if we can have a SNP within the KNA. And this slide is just a reminder at its basic core, what is our profession all about? And it is to protect, promote, and optimize the health of everyone that we serve. The biggest thing in talking to people, especially with some of my colleagues, is they get hung up on the moral compass and the difference between values, morals, and ethics. And they kind of want to make them all one, and they're not. So I'm thinking if we start there and kind of explaining the differences between them. Values are what an individual believes that helps guide them into what is right and what is wrong. Morals takes that one step up as to what in the society and the community in which you're a part of, what do they set as the norms or the standards? And then ethics is the formal set of principles that an organization or a group as KNA, ANA, how are we going to hold ourselves accountable in our conduct and how we carry out our nursing practice? And with that ethics, especially with the revised form that has come out, we have got the backing that this is something that we need to and are expected to do. The 4 that I pulled out that I found out really speak to this is 1, the basic nursing practice that we are to practice with compassion, respect, and inherent dignity and worth for everyone. I apologize. Can you guys still see the
Yes,
presentation, or did I just lose it?
we're good.
Okay, because I think I took it off for me. Because I couldn't read part of the slide with the chat in there. Now let me see if I can't get it back. I should not be allowed to touch buttons. Okay.
Annie, would you like me to read? This is Nicia, what I see here on the screen for ANA Code of Ethics.
Yes, well, I try and bring this back up so I can see it.
Okay. Yeah, tech is tricky. Hey, everybody, it's Nicia Thornton. Provision 1, ANA Code of Ethics reads, the nurse practices with compassion and respect for the inherent dignity, worth, and unique attributes of every person. Provision 3, the nurse promotes, advocates for, and protects the rights, health, and safety of the patient. Provision 8, the nurse collaborates with other health professionals and the public to protect human rights, promote health diplomacy, and reduce health disparities. And then Provision 9, the profession of nursing collectively through its professional organizations must articulate nursing values, maintain the integrity of the profession, and integrate principles of social justice into nursing and health policy. I think you're okay to go on to the next slide.
Nursing organizations have already taken a stand. The ANA had a position statement, nursing advocacy for the LGBTQ population, and ASPAN, which is the governing body that I am a part of, that governs nurses that practice in peri-anesthesia services. We had a statement that came out on gender diversity. Those that aren't familiar with it, what is a SNP? It is a group within the KNA that focuses on a specific practice concern. We have to have 10 members. We have to meet regularly, keep minutes, report to the KNA. We also have to have a charter that guides how we are going to practice. And our goal is, like I said earlier, the members of this group will participate at the level that they feel comfortable with and what they feel that their gifts are and that they can bring to the SNP. And this afternoon's edition this is the revision of the charter. We came up with a draft, then we talked through it on Monday night, and then I sent it back out so those that could not make the meeting on Monday to see how they felt, and was there anything that we could do to make this speak more to what it was that we wanted to do. And then the competency, we want to make sure that all nurses understand how to appropriately and compassionately care for the members of this community. Advocacy is that we've got to be their voice. We've got to stand up. We've got to say that we're behind them, that we support them. And especially with all of the bills that have gone on here recently, they're being, and I don't understand why. And one of the girls on the call on Monday night, she said that what drove her to want to be a part of this SNP is that she does not understand the hatred and absolute attack towards this community. Patient care works along with competency? How are making sure that we're caring for them appropriately and getting to the hospitals and to the nursing schools, even starting there. In researching for this project, I was amazed at how little it is a part of the nursing program. And the last article that I read, I think nurses only get a week of classroom time that talks about this, and physicians only get 1 day. Research, we need to start documenting what it is that we do, the evidence-based care that we can support, and get that out there, because more so now than any, we have got to have what we do documented so we can prove that we are doing things, evidence-based practice, research, we have the data to back it up. Timetable, I sent the letter out to the chapters to ask to talk to them. We're now up to 16 members. I've got the poster ready to go for the KNA Legislative Conference. I still am going to meet with anyone who would like to have me. It's always open for new members. Our goal is to have our first educational offering on the KNA website by the gala in November. He Wright has graciously offered to help me with putting that together. So why is it relevant? Why now do we need to speak up and need to form this SNP? One of the things, just as a side note, with talking with Lisa and Delanor, is that not only this SNP, but to have more SNPs available within the KNA. We're up to 100,000 nurses in the state of Kentucky, and there are multiple areas that we need to focus on. The 3 committees that are part of the KNA right now, governmental affairs, advocacy, and practice, they cannot do it all. If we divided the needs up into smaller groups and did that legwork and then passed it up, imagine the voice that we could have and the difference that we can make in our practice in Kentucky. The reason that the LGBTQ is important now is study in 2024, 7.6% of the American population identifies in this community. That's 18 million people. In Kentucky, 4.9% of the population, and that's just under 70,000. In Kentucky, it started with the passage of Senate Bill 150, and it has only gotten worse from there. What Kentucky Senate Bill 150 did was set back all the goals that this community had, goals and rights that they had finally been able to enjoy. Pronouns no longer have to be used. There will be no discussion of human sexuality under grade 5, and at any grade level, K through 12, you cannot speak anything about gender identity, gender expression, social orientation. Challenges for the SNP, we've got an uphill battle. In 2024, over 500 anti-LGBTQ bills were addressed. 112 of them were specifically to transgendered people and gender-affirming care. 26 states have enacted ban. There's 17 lawsuits. And what I found so interesting is the 17 that are being challenged, the American College of Physicians have asked to have their voice heard. They weren't asked, they weren't subpoenaed, but they wrote this brief that said, look, we've got something to say and it needs to be said and needs to be heard before you start deciding these issues. To date, 2025, there are 569 anti-LGBTQ bills in the United States that have been introduced. Kentucky has 8 of those. These are the 8 that are proposed legislation, some of which have been passed. I think there was maybe one that was before Nurses Day at the Capitol, and the others were introduced not a week after we were there, which makes I don't know if I'm sad, hurt, or angry, or if there's a word that combines all three of those, but we were there. They could have asked our help, our opinion, if they had truly wanted it, especially the bill on the retention and recruitment of healthcare professionals. If you read the bill, it has absolutely nothing to do with recruitment and retention of healthcare workers in the healthcare setting. It is to allow healthcare workers to refuse care to any person that they feel practices or their lifestyle is against something that they feel goes against their religion or strong-held moral belief. Administrative versus legal inauguration day. President Trump kept his promise and started going with the executive orders. He signed an order that defending women from gender ideology, extremism, and restoring the biological truth to the federal government. He's defining sex as just two, male and female. He wants to defy the Supreme Court ruling that Bostock versus Clayton County, that when you cannot discriminate based on sex, that does not include the LGBTQ community. Refusal to use pronouns and bathroom bans in the federal building and totally dismantling DEI. And not also did he pass that, but he also rescinded these rights that this community had fought so hard for and had. And if anybody has watched the news in the last week, Supreme Court kicked back to the lower courts that transgender people cannot serve in the military. So technically, the Pentagon has got the right to start discharging those members while the lower courts figure out on whether or not this is legal or not legal. And the reason that I'm so passionate about evidence-based practice and research is it's being taken away from us. When I started this project trying to find information about the LGBTQ community, about transgender community, the signs were already going up. These websites are being redesigned by President Trump. We're going to move your article somewhere else, look for it here. And when it moves you to that other area, it has nothing to do what your original search, what that information was for. CDC was the one I found that had been eaten up the most. NIH, they still had some, but it was not nearly as bad. So why me? Why should I care? I don't know anybody in this community. I feel uncomfortable taking care of people in this community. My youngest daughter, Julie, she had me read this book, God Believes in Love, Straight Talk About Gay Marriage. And I love this quote that Pastor Gene Robinson had. Still, as a straight person, you might say, this just isn't my fight. Well, no, it isn't, unless you care about the kind of society that we have, unless you want the society of which you are a part of to be a just one, unless you believe that a free society, not to mention a godly religion, should fight injustice wherever it's found. Unless your religion tells you, as our entire Judeo-Christian heritage does, that any society will be judged by the way it treats its most vulnerable, and unless you care about our children, unless fairness matters to you, unless violence against lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people concerns you, and unless liberty and justice for all is something you believe applies to all citizens. So in summary, as nurses, we already know how to bring people to the table. One of the things when I was at the KNA legislative conference last year, one of the speakers spoke on DEI, and I remember all of us nurses were just kind of sitting there kind of dumbfounded because we didn't understand why people don't communicate, because we do it every day. We've got to bring people to the table. We've got to get people to talk to find out what's going to be the best plan of care for our patients. Why can't others know how to talk and reach to a compromise and treat each other with respect and dignity when they do talk? So we're the perfect ones to be the voice, to make the difference, to set the example of how things can be different. I appreciate your all's time. I thank you so very much for letting me come and talk to you. My contact information is there if you need anything. Nicia has very graciously agreed to be my mentor on this and has been a wonderful, wonderful ally to me, and I cannot thank her enough. Does anyone have any questions?
Copy of the PowerPoint will be included in our minutes. To Denise, so they can be included in our minutes, with your permission, of course.
Oh, absolutely. We're only going to get better and stronger if we share what we know and we lift up and support each other.
So outside of educating us on what is happening, Annie is obviously recruiting for members for her staff. So if that's something that interests you, her email is available on the last page of the PowerPoint. Okay. Okay.
All right.
Any
Thank you,
questions?
everyone. I really appreciate your time.
No. Okay. Thank you, Annie. You did great.
Thank
did great.
you.
Welcome to the Nightingale chapter meet and greet. We're glad you all are here. You see, these lovely photo ops we've got up there. Our editor at large would be Denise. She does all the fixing of our PowerPoints for us. But we're really glad you all are here and that you were able to make it for our meet and greet tonight. I'm excited to see such a nice turnout, you know? Did everybody introduce each other to each other? Before I got here, I was a little late to the party. I was working on K&A stuff, but I was a little late I'm always working on K&A stuff. But welcome. We're really glad you're here. It's really good to see you all. A moment for mission, and it's going to be a very short and sweet one. But Nurses Day came, right? And my mother was a nurse. She kept her license active until the day she passed. She worked full-time 42 years in the profession. And after my mother passed away, I was going through things and got into her jewelry box, and there was a picture of me in my cap, my nursing cap, graduating, and next to it, all alone in this one part of her box, was her nursing pins. And you know that they used to have the hard name plaques, and her name plaque. Mary Baumgartner on it. And I got to thinking, because I just entered my 40th year as a registered nurse. So between my mother and I, we have 82 years in nursing. And I think that's pretty cool. It makes me feel really, really proud to be able to say that. My mother loved being a nurse. She was passionate about it. And she was passionate about helping to mentor a generation that would have a better, stronger voice. Because my mother came from a time when God walked into the nurse's station, we stood and decided where to sit down. And there was no negotiating who was the boss. And it was a time when we were reminded frequently, not to say it doesn't happen now, which we're still having these conversations, but you were reminded often that you were just a nurse. But I say nurses are leaders, and we are far more than just a nurse. That's my moment for mission. So I thought if we could just go around the table, because I don't know everybody. Tell me about yourself.
My name is Susan Hall, and I'm a retired family nurse practitioner. I graduated from the University of Bridgeport and guest via LPN, and then got my degree.
And you just kept going, didn't you?
Right, and then I came to Eastern Kentucky, Frontier Nursing Service to work for 6 months. And then, yeah, and then I decided, well, I think I'll go to school here.
Yeah.
And that's how I became a nurse practitioner. And out of a class of 12 women, I was the only woman that had not worked in some foreign country. And people worked in Mali. There was Timbuktu. I never thought about Timbuktu was a real place, but I did go to Nicaragua for 3 years, for care in the jungle there. Had a pack mule, I got paid $75 a month in local transportation. Transportation, which was 2 mules,
Wow,
one to ride on and one to carry your stuff on.
wow.
So being a nurse practitioner in Eastern Kentucky and learning with so many stories that people had told me. And, you know, that was invaluable many times.
I'm sure they were so grateful to have you because they are still an underserved population. Yeah, good for you.
It's not near as exciting.
It's all exciting, honey.
It's
You're
all
nurses.
exciting.
We've got stories. We
I wanted to write, I'm actually from Canada originally, so I took I'm an LPN, I'm retired LPN, and I took it up there, but over the last 40-something years, I've worked mainly with, I quit medical nursing probably when my daughter was born about 40 years ago, but then I worked as an office manager and service coordinator. You name it, if it was in the medical field, I probably have done it, but, so. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Well, welcome. We're glad you're here. Denise, we know all about you, don't we? You got any secrets? Denise is the secretary with the mostest, but she also is our student nurse and CANS liaison. She does an amazing job.
I'm Hannah Jones. I got my BSN from the University of Kansas. Class of '83. I am originally from Singapore. It's my husband that brings me all the way to Kentucky. I lost him 40 years ago. So other than that, I have been from open heart to ICU. Boom. I was put into his office. And I don't know what a nurse cannot do, but did a lot of administration and ambulatory nursing. And we were in the community for almost 30 years. And 25 of which I was with him. And I was actually the office manager when she first moved here. I was the office manager when she was. I'm just grateful, my neighbors and my dear friend, she said, well, it's time for you to come to our KNA meetings and you're registered for all these meetings, you know, when you're working all the time, you don't get to go to all these meetings. You see living lives and I don't know how you do this, but I'm here and I've been enjoying all the stories and all these platforms and AI and I'm looking at all this. And it's been wonderful and we have a guest here that has inspired me just now before we guys came in, so I'm gonna let her do the talking, but thank you for having me. I'm sure. 7 years. And never was honest. It's not, but the secretary of health. And his job. When we started out, as a baby. We tried. We should have so much of his mind here. But
That's awesome. Years of experience in this room.
I'm Connie Lamb. This is year 29 for me. So my undergrad degree is Maria College, a master's from EKU and a PhD from UK. And most of my career I've been in education. And so right now I'm the nurse administrator at Asbury University and we're launching a brand new nursing pre-licensure BSN program there. And so when I was a practicing nurse at the bedside, I was a med-surg nurse. I did clinical for many, many years, brought students all over the place to do med-surg adult health, CDU kind of work with them, but mostly I've been in the classroom with the students and just love them.
That's exciting. I mean, BSN program. That's really exciting.
You're welcome. Our first cohort of students this August. Super excited about that.
Should be. That's great. Oh, Pat.
I'm Pat Calico. And I've had a nice nursing career, doing a lot of things, different things. I started out as a med surg nurse, and then I got a certificate in rehabilitation nursing. And I have been a nurse educator for a long time. I worked at HRSA, Health Resources and Service Administration and Division of Nursing. And I'm still doing a little teaching. And I've been in Canada at one more time.
Yes. I will tell you a little story. We were doing, because we were honoring Pat, and I got the chance to look at her resume, her CV. I was, oh my gosh, she's done everything. And she's done a lot for Kate. A lot. I was blown away. I was like, well, go Pat. Very impressive. She's still going. She's still going, yeah. She'll be passing out honor cords with Denise, won't she? Is she going with you? She shows up when the rest of us can't. She's there.
Is that you passed me by Susan?
Oh, well, there you go, okay. Point made right there. Yeah, amazing job. And she's our immediate past chair. And sitting next to her is our immediate past.
Kyle. I was a late bloomer, always wanted to be a nurse, so at age 43, I signed up for classes at Purdue, graduate, and my career lasted 20 years. And I started out in the hospital for 6 years, and oncology and cardiac, but somehow put those two together. And required us to know how to do both. So one of the cardiologists asked me, or not the cardiologist, one of the oncologists asked me to come and work for her. So I spent most of the rest of my career mixing this in ministry. And in ISA, which is in Indiana, probably we have served 2 terms. Main office, and I have to see. One of those terms. He's working.
Like the part of the speech.
I did retire my license. Because I have a hard time getting to this, get the CEs, struggle with putting it into the thing. Just a hassle. I figure I'm not gonna work.
Once a nurse, always a nurse.
Well, that's true.
With or without an active license. Well, what's your story?
I came from water. I've been a nurse for 33 years and probably done a little bit of everything clinical, but I went over to the dark side about 7 years ago to administration. So,
Yeah.
and anyway, you want to go change the world, and then you learn it's a little bit harder than what you
Then
thought.
what you do.
Yeah.
It's a lot
So-
harder than you think.
Yeah, exactly. So anyhow. Nothing more exciting than that. Just finished my DNP last year.
That's pretty exciting,
June,
Mary.
so,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, but that was a little too much downplay.
Yep.
We're proud.
Keep on going, never too old.
I'm Lisa Lockhart. I'm the chair. I do a lot of different things. Okay. I'm the chair for the TAC, which is the Nursing Technical Advisory Committee Council for the state of Kentucky. And the chair here, director at large for KNAC, the Kentucky Nurses Action Coalition. I am the chair on the membership recruitment and retention committee, and I chair the task force association. So I do a lot of that. Got my master's in nursing. And then my master's in healthcare administration after that, I'm certified nursing. Here I am, I work here at McDowell. I am a nursing quality manager, the patient safety officer for the system, workplace violence prevention, and I just became a clinical. You know, when you work in a smaller hospital system. Kind of like, hey, sometimes we wear lots of it. So that's about me. Anyway, I'm glad you all are here, and I love when folks introduce themselves and we get to talk. Nisa, you want to introduce yourself? It's nice to have you still online there.
Oh, yeah, sure. Thank you so much, Lisa. And I just sent you, Lisa, an email asking if I could have your mobile number, which I don't think I have, surprisingly. And I was just saying something I want to repeat now. You cannot believe what an honor and an energizing experience this is for me as a nurse to hear each of you talking about your work as a nurse and the fact that you're here today. Some of you online and some of you in person. I really can't find the words, and I'm a person of words. I can't find the words to say how amazed and privileged I feel to be a part of the community of nurses, especially in Kentucky. I came to nursing later in life, I guess you'd say. At age 50, I had passed my BSN and NCLEX exams and started at University of Cincinnati Health. I remained there at first in neurology and neurosurgery, inpatient at the medical center, and then I switched over to outpatient infectious disease with a primarily HIV/AIDS patient population. I retired this past November, and as I'm sure some of you can identify, surprisingly, ha ha ha, I don't have that much free time. I've been, it's like shocker. So I've been able to be increasingly involved in the KNA. I am so fortunate to be able to connect with, a lot of times online, which I wish could be in person, with each of the chapters as chapter liaison, but also active in other groups within the KNA. This year was the first time I missed the Nurses Day at the Capitol because I just had a knee surgery. I'm just without words, which if any of you have ever experienced me in person, you know this is unusual.
A rare thing.
I just it is weird. I am kind of overwhelmed at the moment. I just want to thank you for the privilege of being able to be present at this meeting as I am at every chapter meeting I'm able to be part of. I'm so looking forward to meeting and re-meeting each of you in person as soon as possible. I'll be at the Legislative Advocacy Conference in Bowling Green at Spalding University. I do encourage each of you. I'm certainly, the chapter leaders I'm in communication with, but I would love to hear from any of you who, just you want to share something about your experience as a nurse. As I said, I came to it after other professional careers and kind of a zigzaggy path through life. But once I found nursing and I got over my initial shock of being called the patient's nurse at UC Medical Center in Cincinnati, then I realized I'd found the exact right spot. And I'm always a nurse, and I treasure being part of this profession. Thank you all.
Thank you, Nisa. Are any of our folks that I saw call in, that they must have all screwed up? I don't see anybody.
This is Jeanette. I'll go ahead and I can say hey. Hi.
Hi.
So I haven't been to a meeting in a while, but when, I was coming, Denise and Pat were both there frequently, well, every time. But I have been a member of the KNA for a very long time. I started out as a student member, and I have been a nurse since 2009. So it's been a while. Currently, I am a full-time nursing instructor. I teach online, and I need to start coming back so that I can see everybody because it's kind of isolating, being home. But I just wanted to pop on and say hi and, just let everybody know I'm here.
Jeanette, I guess I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be there.
Okay, and we'll chat right before, okay?
Okay, that sounds good. Just
Okay.
let me know just let me know a time that you want to meet and I'll meet you.
We have to be there, it starts at 6. So let's try to be there by 5:30, 20 till, something like that.
We'll do it. I'll see you
Okay.
then. Thank you.
All right, ma'am, thank you. Is there anybody else still on the line?
It looks like Angela is on. I can't hear her though.
Yeah, I'm on.
Oh, there you are, okay.
I'm a student member. I have attended a few meetings, not really said anything. I'm actually getting my pin tomorrow for graduation from Campbellsville University with my ADN. And I'll be seeing Lisa and Jeanette tomorrow.
We can't wait, Angela, we're very proud of you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we've got all from the brandy new to to the retired but still working. So welcome, everybody. Thank you. I know that was, I know that we're pressed for time, but I thought it was important to talk, I mean, sometimes we get so busy focused on agendas, we forget to talk. So, Denise, what you got for a chapter report? We've been doing a little better.
Actually, yeah. When I looked at our last report, we were up to 123 members. And there's not been as many people dropping off either. And I don't know, our report says we have 28 students, but I know we have more because we have students from other chapters, other counties that join in ours. So I'd say we probably have done closer to 35 students.
Oh, that's great.
We had quite a few graduating.
And that's not counted in the, I mean, when you say 123, that's not even counting, you think that.
No, that the students are on top of that. So the students, I'm thinking we're making about 35 students, something like that. We've got several graduating. And then I went to the BCTC Leestown campus career fair. And I think there was one fellow, there was one student member that joined us as a result of that. He's in the BCTC Lawrenceburg program. I think he graduates in December. And then Pat and I both went to KSU, and Pat got to meet some international students. So I think that would have been neat to have been there for that.
It was an experience. And they are all from, they were about 4 or 5, they're all from Africa, different countries in Africa. They're all studying at Kentucky State University. Nurses.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We have international nurses here now, a lot of folks have been, it took forever. With all the hospitals that have been receiving the international nurses. I mean, we've been waiting for a couple of years for this to come to fruition, but they're here now. Now we're working in our hospitals. So anything else for us, Denise, that you want to share? And you've got a treasurer.
Yep, our two accounts, we have our KNA chapter account, we're at $3,343 in that, and then our scholarship and education is $3,060 for that. So until tonight, didn't have any outstanding checks, but now we got some outstanding checks that will be coming through. But between that and we've got a scholarship recipient to hand out for spring, and from that, and that'll be outstanding checks of $621.25. And we've got a money market now, it's in a CD, and it's doing okay. Yep. Over, it's $10,400 some. Tons of money.
Oh, I know. What are we gonna do? Throw away? No. Happy Nurses Week. I know we've all been saying that to each other, but celebrating nurses as leaders. So I'm going to go through some of this pretty quick so we've got some important items to take care of. But the advocacy priorities for the KNA, I just wanted to briefly review. That is funding for SANE nurses. We all know, everybody's familiar with what a SANE nurse is. workforce support, workforce development, workplace violence prevention, nurses having a voice in staffing. There's a lot that comes under that umbrella that KNA is actively advocating for legislatively on so many levels, statewide and nationally. School nurses, as a matter of fact, I don't know that Amy mentioned that or not, but there's only been one SNP ever in the history of the KNA. And Annie and her advocacy to develop the new SNP will make the second SNP for the KNA special interest group. So that's pretty exciting. It's pretty exciting. And then the brand image of nursing, if you look in the lower left-hand corner, brand image of nursing, nursing is leaders. But we've also changed the brand of KNA, the visual brand. And not all the nursing associations across the United States went with the new branding. But there we are in the corner. You can see that the flame makes an N. Might have a better picture. No, of course I don't. Nicia has already mentioned about the advocacy conference coming up. I have one of my other hats I wear for KNAs. I'm the director for the LAA. They're going to be we'll be offering 2.5 CEs over the lunch period, as you'll get to listen to Annie and the 10 other cohorts of fellows present their projects and graduate with their certificate of graduation and be able to start using their initials. So it's exciting. Dolores White had hoped to be here, but she had an opportunity to see somebody she's been mentoring, working with, actually came for a live graduation ceremony and really had bonded with Dolores and wanted her to. And if you know Dolores, how could you not bond with Dolores, right? But so Dolores just needed to do that. I was going to have Delanor talk about the new branding, but she wasn't able to join us this evening. The KNF raffle is going on now. That's our big fundraiser. That's how we raise money for our student nurses and for a lot of activities that we do across the state. There's some great items to bid on. So get into the nursing network or get on your KNA 365 app because you're able to get into the raffle either way and make some bids. And I'm going to win the vacation at the beach, so don't even try. I'm dedicated to that. KNA elections will begin the 1st of August. That is for the statewide elections. And there's a lot of positions open, and I think they're all out posted. If you get into the nursing network or the 365 app, you'll be able to see everything that's available. The applications are available in both places as well. If you have any desire, join a great group of human beings who are advocating for nurses in our community. This is a golden opportunity. KNA 5K coming up September 6th. Give for the Good is in September. I don't have the date for that, or maybe it's one day in September. Guys, we're in the middle of the chapter challenge, which ends May 30th, and I really would love to see us get that daggone trophy away from Penny Rowell and those folks. This one was taken at BCTC.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was in December, wasn't it?
Yes, I remember him. Okay, so Jody, who we had hoped Jody was going to join us tonight too, but he's the one that started that. Join KNA, stay KNA. But looking at our student members, our honor course program, recruitment of LPNs, and bulk membership, and I was going to spend some time on that, but we're kind of short on time. But I'm going to be getting some education together for you all about bulk membership. It's a new program that ANA has come out with. Delanor is very involved and committed to the program and has asked the membership task force to lead that. There's my input on that. What we need from here, which I know that me and Pat and Gwen have worked on before, is getting a list of all the CNOs and nursing leaders in the area together. So do you have that in our file somewhere, what we worked on? So
We've got a few, that's a lot of them have changed.
But if we could have one to start with, and then I could
Yeah,
work on
it's
getting it
interesting.
updated, maybe the last one we did.
Yeah.
It's been 2 years or better since we
Quite a
worked
long
on
time.
that. Yeah,
That'd be
okay.
great. It's interesting.
So more to come for all of you on that. And now Denise, I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Okay. This is, the honor cord recipients. KNA started this program a couple years ago. But what the student members do, they have to complete 20 hours of activities toward their honor cord and they'll get an honor cord to wear at their graduation. But they can participate in community activities, KNA CEs, attendance at KNA, the various chapter meetings. So they have a wide variety of things to choose from. So this is our first time. We have 8 students that are getting honor cords this time. So in the left upper corner is Megan Crump and Haley Wilbur. They are graduating from BCTC Lawrenceburg. Their pinning is tomorrow at 6 o'clock. And left lower is Danica Brooks. She's also in their same cohort. And Pat and I will be attending their pinning at 6 o'clock to present their honor cords to them. And then there's 2 others. The other one's not picked. Brianna Green. She's at BCTC Lawrenceburg also. And then we have 4 from Campbellsville University too. Angela Neal is the bottom middle. And then Kayla Moakley is on the right. And they're from Harrodsburg. CU Harrodsburg campus. And then the other one is Kayla Medley. Cut off. Yeah, and Sammy Stugal. So Lisa and Lynette Rogers is going to be attending the CU pinning tomorrow night, and it's also at 6 o'clock to present them their honor cords.
So we're doing a divide and conquer.
Yeah, so divide and conquer.
Yeah.
So,
And what a
it's
wonderful
exciting.
problem to
I
have.
know, and they've done some of
We're
this.
so excited.
These girls have done all kinds of different things. They participated in some Ronald McDonald houses, and I know some of the CU's done a lot of the blood drives.
Chloe's.
Chloe's, but yeah, so a lot of different things, and also a lot of one of them has done a lot of the KNA continuing.
Oh, I saw that. I was like, wow.
I know.
they're really active in
So,
education.
They've done so well. Very proud of these ladies.
Yeah, we're very excited. We're so happy to welcome you to the nursing profession, and we want you to stay in KNA after you graduate. Just thought we'd throw that out there. But congratulations to our graduates.
Our spring scholarship winner, Angela, you're still on here, aren't you?
Yes, ma'am.
So Angela is our scholarship winner this spring. She will be presented a $500 check to use as she sees fit to finish off her nursing program. So since you're
Taking that with you.
yes, since you are here virtually, can't really give it to you, so.
I will give it to you tomorrow.
I will get it tomorrow night. But one of the comments, that they do have to turn in a recommendation from like an instructor. So I'm just gonna read you the last part of Julia Byerly is who she got a recommendation from. She's her success coach. But she said Angela is a stellar nursing student. She has a love for serving others and is committed to her studies. She possesses a rare blend of those characteristics that make an individual a great nurse, making her a very deserving candidate for the Nightingale chaptership. So anyway, congratulations.
Yay,
Angela.
congratulations, Angela.
And
Thank you all so much.
and one other thing, Angela, all
Yes.
the student that attended tonight was gonna be put in the pot for a free KNA first year membership. So you're the only one, so you.
Look
you
at
get a
that.
free,
Talk about
Yay.
yeah. So what we'll do, I will send you a paper application and a return on address envelope, and after you pass your NCLEX, you can mail it back to us and we'll send all the check and everything into A&A for you.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. We're very proud of you, Angela. I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. And I'll come with check in hand, okay?
All right. Thank you.
Okay. All right, that's exciting. SNP proposal, we've done that. Oh, we made it through the end part. You all want to do a door prize?
Yeah, we do have a door prize. Think of a number between 1 and 20. Okay, so there is a number on the bottom of this, so whoever's closest gets these little flowers. 8.
6.
Oh, no, oh, we can decide.
Have those two do it. The two that were on either side of it, we have 7, I mean a 6. We have a 7.
You just share them with everybody.
I guess you could pass them out, I guess.
They're beautiful. Well, you all do what you want to do.
Yeah. I guess our next meeting will be August the 14th.
Have you all, have we canceled August in the past because of vacations or no? I wasn't sure. No,
Used to have a picnic in June or July, we canceled that, but we haven't, canceled all of them. But I'm
Okay.
aware
okay. Well, we're gonna need to work on a seating event for August. There's a lot of,
I can contact the students at, the students from Africa at, Kentucky State, if they're still available. They said they would come and present the program for us. And we're interested.
oh, wonderful. Okay.
So I'll try to find that out right away, so we can go to something else and.
Yes, that sounds wonderful.
And has anybody heard of 211, the number 211? This is a program by the United Way, and they're trying to get the message out about this. This is the number. It's kind of like 911. It's who do you call when you don't know who to call? It's like a resource type thing for people. So she's trying, I know the director of this program is trying to get the word across the state about this program too, so.
So
Another
That's
idea.
great. Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, I'm a volunteer for the Medical Reserve Corps. They had a summit a couple of weeks ago and she was one of the presenters there. So it's very interesting program.
One of our
Yeah.
LAA fellows is trying to spread the word about, I think it's that's why I know that, it is because of her, and because she's trying to spread the word about it. That wasn't her main project, but
Okay.
it was something she was doing as well as.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
available, why don't we just go with her and I'll see that the students were.
Yeah, we'll give it more time. Yeah.
Do you have a date in August for the meeting? Because it usually
Yeah, it's the
starts
14th. Here's her contact information.
First or second?
Her name's Roberta Studerman. She's the vice president of United Way of Kentucky.
Just a copy you haven't.
Yeah. Yeah. My printer's crazy. Couldn't have read.
Yeah,
Yeah, the August 14th, I'm sorry. And then the October one would be October the 9th.
okay. Well, I think our attendees have signed off. And I think actually, you all are okay, we can move to adjourn.